Hi, folks. Welcome to our Expo crash course here today. Thanks for joining us. If you're here, you're probably an exhibitor for our upcoming virtual expo next week, and you've got some questions about how your booth and the event in general are going to work. We're going to record this like we do with most of these chats and put it online afterwards. So if someone can't attend to watch this today, it will be there as a reference for them. I'm joined by Philip Newton with Soundforce, who is our partner in putting this event on. And he's just going to walk us through what people can expect both as an attendee and as an exhibitor at this event. Hi, Philip.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you? Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here with you, and certainly glad to help make this event work under these new circumstances. So we're excited about it. I think it's going to be kind of cool.
Unique circumstances for sure. Okay, why don't we just dive in, Philip, if you don't mind, and let's start with the auditorium piece of this before we dive into the booths themselves. So can you kind of explain to us what the concept here is and how it's going to work?
Right, sure. I'd be glad to. All right, let's start. We'll start here. So obviously, they'll once an attendee comes, they register. There's going to be a short little video to show them how to work things, and then they're going to wind up on this page. So or something similar to this, and then so we have a few limited options they can go from here. The auditorium is where think lecture hall, that kind of thing. So this is where you can go to see the different keynote addresses that are going to happen. They're going to happen in our little auditorium theater here. So you don't actually have to leave the expo site to watch the keynotes. This is literally like if we were having the real expo, you'd be on the one side, you'd walk over for the luncheon. This is what you would see, and
Hey, Philip.
Yes.
Sorry, let me interrupt you just one quick second here. We have someone saying they can't hear you. I can hear you fine. If there's anyone else in the audience that can't hear Philip, would you please type in the Q&A and let us know? Because obviously we want you guys to be able to hear him.
Let me bring my mic really close. What if I eat the mic? How's that? Is that better?
Okay. Okay. People are saying they can hear you, so we'll go on.
I'm redlining on my side, so I don't want to blow it out. So okay. Well, let's start over. So kind of here's a landing point or a starting point for the expo. You have options to go to the exhibit hall. You can see the schedule of all the different keynote addresses, and then also you can go to the auditorium, which is what we were just discussing. So first of all, let's look at the schedule. So we'll have a schedule up of all the different keynote addresses, and if you want to see, the session on healthcare and insurance, for example, well, you can click here to add it to your calendars. Of course, it tells you a little bit of information about it. It's going to tell you a little bit more information about it if you click on it, and then you can go to the auditorium to actually watch it. The auditorium is basically, it is just your stream player. So we're going to be streaming all these keynote addresses here. You don't actually have to leave the Expo website to view the keynotes. Again, like I was saying, it's almost like if you were at the Trade Center in the exhibit hall, you could walk across over to the luncheon and watch the keynotes. The same idea. We're just trying to create it virtually. So here we are. This is where you would go. So let's go back. And again, we enter the exhibit hall. What everybody's really here to talk about are their booths. So we'll come to a navigation interface of sorts. You'll be able to come here and see a sliding. This will work on your phone, so people can slide it with their fingers and they can click on the icons, and it will show the icons. Probably going to make them increase them at this point, make them a little larger. But it'll be a graphical interface to drive the navigation, so it'll be something really easy for people to do. They don't have to search down a list of business names and not understand what that is. And we've got them grouped in categories by those color codes. Just if you're going to the expo, we'll have it. Each one of those colored areas is going to represent one of the different 8 categories of vendors that everybody has been classified into. So we're trying to make the navigation quick, ultimately to get the attendee to the booth. And that's where we are here. So Info Systems is, I'm going to pick on them. They're one of the presenting sponsors, right? So this is their virtual booth, and they're all basically the same. We'll go to a couple of them just to show it today and answer questions. But this is the layout of all the booths, more or less. You have a logo here for the business. This is clickable. It would take you directly to their website right out of the right out of the site. So obviously all the information they have and all the time their marketing departments put into their website is accessible with a click there. Again, all their social links, the same idea. You click on one, it takes you to their social media site. So there's quite a bit of information there for an attendee if they, and everybody's sending this information in. If you haven't already done it, please do it. And we'll put it in your booth so that your booth can also be, can function this way. This is what we call the headline. So this is the big picture. What are you trying to get across? And then this is some supporting text. My advice on the supporting text is, keep it brief because we have to read it. So I suggest this be a pretty quick snippet that gets the point across. They've done a pretty good job. Everybody gets a video window if you want to use it, and we've been scheduling a lot of appointments. People have been coming in. We've been making videos for some people. Some people have a video they want to use that we've been putting here. They obviously have a pre-made one. And it works as you would imagine it would. Say that. Did you have a question, Jeremy?
Yeah, Philip, just so we're clear for everyone, can you sort of explain the distinction between the two sort of videos that exhibitors have available?
Right, sure. So we've basically centered around 2 types of videos. And these videos are going to play in rotation when the keynote of that area is speaking in the auditorium. So if it's business services, for example, then all of the business services commercials are going to play in rotation around that keynote. And what we had to do for the timeline is limit that to 30 seconds. So that is a 30-second spot that can be either provided via a YouTube link or a Vimeo link or uploaded. And we've got a couple ways to do that. Some people have emailed links, and then obviously Jeremy set up a Dropbox to make it easy for people who already have the file. So we can do it that way. And we've also set up appointments at our studio where people have been coming in and kind of creating a 30-second spot. If you don't have, if you don't have one of these big, impressive marketing departments with all this video capability and whatever, then we've been making that 30-second video in-house. So there's a warm face and a warm welcome into your booth. And I can give an example of one that we've made. But to clarify that a little bit more, Jeremy, the video that goes in their booth does not have to be limited to 30 seconds. It's only the one that's being in rotation around the keynote address. If you don't have either one, we've made one that will service both purposes. If you have a 30-second spot, we can put that in the commercial rotation. You've got one that's a minute and a half that just really delivers your message. You want to put it in this booth. We're fine with that. I think that was the decision the chamber made. It's not a big deal. If they have a video if they have a really professional video, this is the place to put it, right? If they have the 30-second spot that's already made, they spent the dollars on, let's put it in the commercial rotation. If they didn't have a presence at all in that way, we've tried to help by making something for them. And the videos that we can make in the time frame we have are simple, but they get the point across. Let me look at here's one we made, Southern Payroll. So same idea, completely different business, let's say, but it's the same booth format. We didn't get into these. We'll get down to these buttons in a second, but again, and he did a great job with his headlines are really concise. You know, your business is more than a number. He's obviously an accountant, so it makes sense, right? And then it says he's got some supporting text. Same idea here. Go to all of his social media stuff. It's here ready for you at any point. You click on his logo, goes to his website, same functionality. You click on his video.
Hi, I'm George Wilson with Southern Payroll and Benefits. Our team is headquartered right here in Chattanooga, and we assist local small and mid-sized businesses with their payroll, human resource, accounting, benefit, and insurance needs. Recently, we've been assisting clients with the various SBA loan programs, whether it's the PPP, EIDL, or even the upcoming payroll tax cut holiday. Not only that, we pledge to give back 2% of all payroll proceeds to the charity of each client's choosing. Thanks, and I look forward to working with you.
So again, simple, but a great elevator pitch, and you get the point, right? So that's
so to clarify here then, if I'm an exhibitor, I've got access to a 30-second spot that you can help me record if I don't already have it, right, Philip?
Correct.
And then that spot will run in basically commercial breaks in the auditorium, you know, throughout the 2 days of the expo. And then you can also use that spot in your booth if you want, or you can provide another one because we'll put basically any video that an exhibitor wants in their booth, regardless of length.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Thanks for being more concise than I am. So here's another example, a different customer, a different exhibitor, but the same idea, right? Real good on their being on point with their phrasing and everything. Same idea. It's the same thing over and over again, the same functionality. So what we were asking all the exhibitors to do is give us a logo. We're going to link that logo to your website, or it can be any page on your website that you want, obviously. So if you've got and we've been doing this trick for a couple people because maybe they want to showcase a certain thing. So, well, if it's on your website on a particular page, just send us the URL to that thing, and we'll link right to where you want to go. That's not a problem. And again, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter accounts, Instagram, Pinterest. There's lots of them out there. Any links you can send that you want to include, we'll put them all here, and it's just more opportunities to engage with the attendee. You want to get into these. Let's go back to let me go back to info systems for a second. Let me look at Rock Ridge. I'm not going to pick on them, but they've got a really good download. Let's see. I'm just jumping around.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I think if we can drill down a little more into the other pieces of the booth, okay, at this point, I think that would make sense.
All right, let's go down and look at the different functionality here. So there's discussion. This is not launched to the public yet. All of you guys are seeing some behind the scenes stuff, obviously, but we may change this Scan Me button to say swap info, so it's a little more clear what it is happening. But the concept is, let me see if I can throw myself up here. All right, great. So the concept is, okay, everybody's been to a trade show, right? So you get one of these badges when you go. Well, the idea is we've created a virtual badge. So the Scan Me would be this QR code that you would have on a lanyard around your neck because you went to this one's InfoComm from 3 years ago. but for example, let's say you're walking around the expo and you've got the badge on your neck, and you walk up to somebody and you're like, I'm really interested in this product. And they say, oh, well, let me scan you. And they pull out their phone or their device and they scan your badge. Well, they're doing that to get your information, obviously. And if you're an exhibitor, so you understand this, you want that attendee's information so you can later send them some information back in return. You're like, this is a hot lead. I want to get their information so I can send them something. Well, that's what this Scan Me button is all about. You click, an attendee clicks on this, and again, this is going to be explained right after they register. They're going to get an interface that's going to explain what all these buttons are. But the functionality is when somebody clicks on this button, they're more or less saying, hey, I'm interested in your service. And you're going to get that list of people at the end of the expo. And then you can take that information and you can do whatever you want to with it. You can market to those folks. They're agreeing when they register that they're going to receive information from you. And that's what that's all about. It's a virtual business card swap if you want. It's an information exchange, however you want to look at it. But that's actual interaction with the attendee and your virtual booth. So a lot's happening there. And yeah, anything you want to add or question on that, Jeremy? Does that explain it? That's kind of, this is the hot list of people who are coming in to your booth.
And that's information that exhibitors send you to be added to the scan to scan app. And then attendees, when they first come to the expo page, when they go into the exhibit hall, they'll be prompted to put in some basic email, name, and just basic information like that, right?
Yeah, it's basic contact information. It's asking for company name. I can show it, but yeah, I mean, everybody gets that idea. It's the contact form, and then that assigns them a badge ID, and that is as they're walking around in the virtual expo, and they're clicking these buttons, it's recording that ID to this booth, and then this company will get a list at the end that says, these are the people who came into your virtual booth and scanned your, they let you scan their badge more or less. So here's their information. Do with it what you like. Market to these folks. Okay. So that's your number one interaction way. Aside from all of this up here, of course, but I mean, that's a way to get information. So the other thing is this promo button. So the promo would be like, all right, we're actually going to the trade show. We have a brochure. We're going to have them printed, and we're going to be standing there, and we're going to smile at everybody, shake their hand, and hand this brochure out, right? If conditions were different. So we've tried to give that ability to people in the virtual world, and that's what promo button is for. Promo is a downloadable document. So if I click on theirs, I know they have a pretty elaborate one. They have a brochure, more or less, that the same thing they would have printed to hand out in their booth, full color, everything in it, tells our whole story, obviously something that they had professionally done, and it's awesome. Here you go, boom. You can download it right here onto your local computer. There's some others that are more simple. I mean, it's whatever you want to send, and it's instantly there for somebody. Let me look at another one, a little shorter one. It's more like a flyer that, again, a completely different product, same functionality, a little more brief, like it. But you click on their promo, and they have a promo there. And basically they're saying, okay, for a limited time, you can get our product for $9.99 with this brochure, with this flyer. So it's the same idea of standing in your booth and handing out a flyer is what promo is supposed to take the place of.
So Philip, we've had a couple questions come in here. You sort of already answered the first one, which was about whether or not exhibitors will get a list of everyone who visits their page, or just the people who hit the Scan Me button.
Okay.
So the customized list that you'll get as an exhibitor is just the people who hit the Scan Me button, correct?
Well, there's the functionality is there for both, and I think we've discussed that. Of course, that's a chamber decision or whatever. But my understanding is that they will get both. The exhibitors will get a list of everyone who attends, and then in addition to that, they'll get the hot list, if you will, the people who are actually
sure.
So
but they won't. they won't get a list of people who visit their page specifically. They'll just get a list of people who hit the scan me button plus the list of everybody who attended.
Well, sure, because there's no way to know who's looking at their page other than the people who hit the button.
Sure. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we had that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
But that does sort of lead us to the next question that came through here, which is, should the promo be a document or announcement of some sort in written form? Yes, it absolutely can be. It wouldn't be a bad idea, based on what we just talked about, if you had some sort of a code or something on there that people had to use to take advantage of your promo so that you could track after the fact. That would be another way for you to capture leads through the promo, besides just using the scan to scan list that you'll get after the fact.
Right. That'd be a great idea to know where you got the lead from. That's just regular lead tracking that you would do in your marketing. But I agree with you 100%. She didn't put one on here, but she said for a limited time. So she's going to assume, well, they have this $9.99 flyer. They had to have gotten that at the expo because I didn't put that out anywhere else, you know. And that, to me, that's a really simple example of something. This is like something I would put in my booth, I guess, is I'd put a really simple thing and I'd be like, here you go. I might do both, but the idea is if you have something really special, you want to make a coupon, or you want to be able to track something, you want to make it where, okay, you had to be at the expo in order to get this deal. Well, there's a great place to put it right there in the promo, and it can be anything in PDF form. If you want to have more than one of those, again, you could always have something here downloadable they can take with them, and then you could always direct them to your website from your link, and and have something here that they would do. You can send it to a certain page here. So there's a way to even do something more. But this is the idea behind this is, what was your big flyer for the day that you wanted to hand out to everybody? Well, now they can get it virtually by clicking that button.
But that can only be one document under the promo field, correct?
Yeah. That document can be 100 pages long, but it has to be one file. So like,
okay.
I showed that example of, I think it was Rockridge Law. They had a 6-page brochure, which would have been one of those, nice and shiny, expensive brochures you'd hand somebody. So it can be a long document if you would, or it can be a simple to the point one like this one is, but it has to be a single file, right?
Okay. And as far as the logos are concerned, I think we want to have just the one logo per business. And I know we have a question here about sizing of the logos. I believe that kind of detailed information is in the email that was sent to exhibitors. Am I right about that, Philip?
I believe it was in there. The easy rule of thumb is just send something big. Don't send 100 by 100 pixel logo and expect it's going to look good. Send something that's 500 pixels wide or larger, something big, because we can size it down. You can always make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger. If you do, it starts to look pixelated. We've all seen that. So these all look good, at least on my screen. This was coming across really sharp. So, she did a nice job. It doesn't need to be a really small 100 by 100 square or something. It needs to be a sizable logo. But a PNG file or a JPEG file is fine. It doesn't have to be anything more elaborate than that. It just needs to look clear and be pretty large. I'd say over a 500 by 500 square at least.
Okay, perfect. We had a question come in about the pure chat function. So you want to sort of cover that briefly before I even ask the question?
Yeah, did you see? Yeah, we didn't talk about that yet. So is this coming across this little window down here where it says contact us? Do you see that?
No, I don't think.
Did that pop up?
Yeah, that pops up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's all right. There's got my capture window too small, I think. There's a button down here that says that is a chat function in the bottom corner. I see it just barely. I see its head popping up right there. See my cursor here? My capture window is too small, but it's here, and you click on it, and she actually has hers enabled, and she's away. So if you're not actually active, if there's someone not on the other side being active, then it has this contact form that pops up when you click on it. And you can type in your email here, and you can say hi, testing your chat, whatever, if I can type, and you can send her an email, and she will get it. So that's basically all I can show on this one, because she's not actually there at the ready. If the person was on the other end, then it would say, Philip is online, Jeremy is online, and you can click on it, and then it's actually a two-way communication, just like a text message conversation or one of those. I mean, we've all been on a chat before, so it works in the same manner. And it's a third-party integration. It's not our product. It's not the Chamber's product. It's a product you can just purchase out there. You can put it on your own website or whatever. It was just a way to add another level of interactivity to these booths, and a way to not recreate the wheel. Because as we've all talked about, a couple months ago, we weren't trying to do these kind of events. We're trying to do in-person ones. So we've trying to break off a lot. But yeah, there's a way to go into the Pure Chat interface. You can set up to 10 team members to answer the chats, and it actually shows the person's name. You can change that little. Wish you could see it, because I made that window too small. But you can change this little blue icon over to their face. You can change what it says. Instead of saying contact us or let's chat or whatever, it's all customizable through the Pure Chat app. And again, that's a third-party integration. There's a lot of stuff there. It's kind of outside the scope of our booth talk, but at the same time, there's a lot of things you can do with it. I was impressed.
Yeah, we've got a couple questions specifically about it here. When you do get in there and start signing up for Pure Chat, you get a notification about installing script on your website. That's referring to the Expo website here, not the company's website, right?
That's right. That is actually referring to us, and I'm kind of glad we brought that up, because there's a button on that. I don't have it in front of me, but there's a button on that page that says send instructions to your webmaster. So if they click on that button, I will actually get an email through our studio address that has the code for their particular booth. And it wouldn't hurt to send an immediate email with that, like just from their email client, like if they jump into Outlook or Mail or whatever, and send us a real quick thing that says, hey, I just signed up for Pure Chat. That would help us, because we're having a little bit of trouble tracking those, because when they send that to the webmaster, it doesn't actually identify the code to a particular person. So we're having to do a little bit of peddling there to figure out who they are. So if they could follow up the Pure Chat, that but hitting send to your webmaster, and then immediately send us another email and say, "Hi, I just signed up for Pure Chat," then we can connect the dots more easily. But we have to install the script, because it's in the website of the Expo. They can put it on their own website if they want to later.
Sure.
I think I'm going to add it to our website. It's a pretty robust set, so it's pretty good.
So if they have multiple people signed up to man the chat, let's say there are 5 employees sitting there ready to chat, will there be 5 little icons down there for different people to click on?
No, what I've seen is that it cycles through them. So again, I'm not a Pure Chat rep in any way, not endorsing it, and not no paid advertisement here. But I think my understanding is if there were 3 or 4 people signed up, then the first person that jumps on chat gets the first one. The next person would get the next guy, you know, or if somebody signs off, then there's 3 or 4 people still left to take more chats. That was my understanding of it. It's explained pretty well on the purechat.com site. So there's a bunch of tutorials and things on there that explain the different functionality of it. But I believe it's more like a sequential thing. Like you take the first phone call, I got the next one, he's got the next one, she's got the next one, that kind of thing.
Okay. And it is completely optional. People who have a booth do not have to add Pure Chat. It's a nice value add if they want it. But if they don't feel like they have the manpower to man it, they don't have to put it in their booth.
Most definitely not. And we've had you know, a percentage of people say, I'm not interested in opting into the chat. Totally fine. We'll just remove it. Same thing as a promo. I mean, if you don't want to have a downloadable document, this button will just be removed.
Sure.
Yeah, this won't be here. That'll be gone. And these other things we didn't talk about, but this is just to navigate to the next booth, the previous booth. Lobby takes you back to where we were. Auditorium takes you back to where the seminars are. Promo is your downloadable document if you want it. Scan Me is the information exchange.
So. Okay. We did have one other question here about the promo, about whether if it's a PDF, can it have, you know, live links inside the PDF? I don't see why that would be an issue as long as the file you're giving us already has the links embedded in it. Then when it's attached, those links should work.
I think so. We had a similar question from an exhibitor already, and I think we were testing around on something. I think it all stays intact. That's PDF functionality, but as long as it's a PDF, I mean, it could be a Word document too. It just has to be a downloadable file.
Sure.
I think PDF is the most logical thing there, but it could be a Microsoft Word document. It can be anything that can be downloaded as a file. I guess it could be even a graphic file. No one's done that yet, but it could probably be just an image they downloaded. But PDF is most easily handled, especially in what we're talking about.
Okay. Is there anything else we haven't covered yet, Philip?
Tell everybody to come.
We only saw it there very briefly, and it's not fully developed yet. But could you go back to the the sort of expo virtual floor
Okay.
that you've been building?
Right.
Yeah, the exhibit hall here.
Okay.
Yeah, so someone asked if people would be able to walk around. I mean, sort of. Like Philip said, on this page, you know, each one of these sections will be a different business category, and so booths that fit within that category will be in that section. Just as a way for us to sort of organize things for people. And then once they go down to the booth level, they can scroll, you know, as Philip was showing off for those buttons before, they can move back and forth between the booths within that category. So it's not exactly the same as walking around an expo floor, but we've tried to make it, you know, a little similar.
Correct. That's right. And here's one I've got. Here's one of my testing ones. They're booth number 1. You can't see it. Unfortunately, I've got my capture window too high, but it down here it says Philip is online because I've set myself up on their chat. So if we were to click on this, it says chat with us, and I can type in there and say, hello, like to chat, whatever. And it will, it's telling me to put my name in here. Okay. Got to follow the rules. Okay. And again, you can see how it works. So you have to put your information in there. And I said, hello, I'd like to chat. So I don't have mine enabled, but I've already got a notification that somebody wants to chat with me. And they said, hello, I want to chat. So I say hi there. Okay, so it pops back over to them. And so now I can start. So we've initiated a chat conversation, right? And this is just an app that I installed this app on my phone, so I wouldn't have to be at a desktop to answer the chat. Again, this was my tester for this page, but that's how that works. And so you can have people assigned to this. They put the app on their phone, and they don't have to be tied down to a desktop to even man their booth. Let's say at the expo, they can be walking around with this phone in their pocket. Somebody wants to open a chat with you, they type in the thing, you get a notification on your phone in the app, and it's as simple as clicking on it. And then I'm chatting with myself, but I'm chatting to the app. And up here, now that we've started something, it popped it up a little higher, you can see it. So this can be changed in the pure chat interface to be an avatar space face, or what, you can put whatever you want to in here. This is a customizable picture. This is also customizable. So this could say company representative, product expert, whatever you want to, you could put whatever you want to in here. This is totally up to the individual exhibitor to customize inside of pure chat. And this is just simply the info of the person chatting.
And to answer a question that just came up, there is no video chat built into this. If you do want to chat face-to-face with someone, there will be a moderated Zoom chat going on in the lobby basically the entire time the expo is running. It'll just be moderated by chamber employees. And that's a place where folks will be able to go talk face to face if they want to.
Right. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I was going to say this is a graphical representation of that concept, and then the Zoom window is going to be below it. So there'll be a Zoom screen here that will be that moderated chat you're discussing.
Yes, definitely. So do we have a sense of when we'll have booths finished enough for people to take a look at their booths prior to the expo going live?
Right. We're hoping to launch registration on Monday, first of the week, Monday or Tuesday for sure. So I'm thinking that we're going to have at least the lion's share, largest percentage of all the booths finished by that point. All of the videos may not be 100% at that point. Everybody has got their last minute video appointments in, but I think all of the booths at this point are framed in, if you will. Like this was if we're building real booths, all the booths are there. We just have to populate in the information from each client. So it's in process, and it'll be early week before the launch.
So to answer the question that's been popping up, this is just a website, right? So for attendees to visit this, all they have to do is go to the URL, pull up the website, and they'll be prompted to register when they get there. And it sounds like we'll be sending around the link to folks early next week, basically.
Right. That's right.
Is there a final date to have everything turned in?
Well, it was supposed to be tomorrow.
Okay.
I think the first final date was, I pulled my mic down so everybody could say they couldn't hear me. I think the first final date was tomorrow, but I would like to at least say final Monday. And the fear is that everybody waits till the very last second, and then we have too many of them to complete at the very, very end. But we're working on it nonstop at this point. So the sooner the better, folks. Get it in.
So some people have asked about having multiple people man their booth. You'll have one login. associated with your company. So for all the people who you want to log in and, quote, man your booth, they'll all need to use that same company login. Obviously, if you're attending it from the other side as an attendee, it's going to prompt you to register, and you'll have a unique login as an attendee that way. But in order to access the things from the other side, from the exhibitor side, those employees will need to use the exhibitor login.
Let me go in. Let me interject because I want to make sure there's not a whole lot of there's not really like this secret. There's not like a secret back end area really where people are going. All of that is being handled in the coding really. So everybody has an exhibitor ID which identifies them as an exhibitor. You've got booth number 150 or whatever it is, and you have an exhibitor code that's a big long code that's all secret. Well, that's all in the back end. You don't have to do anything for that. We got all that coded in. So realistically, to attend the event, and we talked about this earlier today, and I want to be clear, so I'm kind of glad we're talking about it so there's not confusion. To attend the event, you need to have a unique email address. That's like your social security number for the thing. That's like that's your identifier, if you will, is your email address. So if, for example, a whole bunch of people from the XYZ Corporation want to attend the event, well, then they have to they have to register as an attendee. There can't be 30 people coming from XYZ Corporation all using Bob's ID and get different information. They can all be Bob, but it's just a computer system, it's just a website. It's going to track everybody as the same individual. So that can definitely happen, but you're not going to be able to track them, and that person's not going to be able to go around and click on certain booths that they're interested in and create their own personalized list if they use the same email address as a login as someone else. So it would need to be, Susie at XYZ, Bob at XYZ, Jane at XYZ, John at XYZ, company. Like everybody register for the expo separately if they want to walk around and get info from this vendor and that vendor and this vendor, and then get an email in the end that's different. Otherwise, it's going to all be one big file. Does that make sense? So it's like, it would all be merged together. In other words, the only way to keep it separated and actually be able to say, well, we had 5 people come from this company, is if all 5 of those people register individually to attend. And of course, registration is just simply putting in your name and your email address, more or less, to say, and you get your free badge ID. But in order to have your own unique badge, if you will, that's got, virtually has your name on it and your own little code to track, you have to register yourself. So yeah, could I steal somebody else's badge and bum rush the door and get in? Yeah, I can. But then if I can't go around and get personalized information that way. So you have to actually register yourself in order to create your own little carrying around bag of flyers that you take home and dump on the kitchen table and look at all the stuff. That's what the whole process of this is. So trying to recreate that virtually, the only way to track it is if everybody has their own registration. Is that so? And there's really no reason to go in. Again, there's no secret backstage pass that you see all the stuff in the background. It's kind of the same experience for everybody. The difference would only be in the people who have the pure chat interface that are actually chatting. Like I was chatting with myself a second ago. Like you get a notification on your phone that says, hey, I want to chat. And it pops up and you sit there and you chat back and forth with the people. Well, that's really the only thing that's different than any other attendee. Okay. Except at the end, you're going to get those lists nobody else does. You're going to get a personalized list of attendees who clicked on your booth, and you're going to get a list of the attendees as a whole. And so or an attendee is not getting that. You're only getting that if you bought a booth and have a booth in the virtual expo, so to say, you know. So those are the only things. Like, they don't have to be worried about logging in and being at their desk behind the scenes to hand out the files when somebody clicks on the buttons or whatever. So maybe I don't understand the question, or I've gone too far into that explanation, but there's not really 10 people don't have to man the booth unless they're doing it, if they're talking about the pure chat interface.
Yeah, that's the point I wanted to get across, is that there's nothing to man other than the pure chat, right?
Right.
The booth is there. People can visit it. It's going to do what it's going to do, whether there's someone there manning it or not. So, for most people, if they want their employees to attend, they probably want to just sign up as an attendee and go around and experience the expo as an attendee.
Right, and that would be the ideal way to do it too, because then you could click on your own booth, but you could go around and click on other people's booths and get information from the expo that you could use yourself, right? And it would be personalized to you. So that would be the real way to do it if you want to attend and go around and get information, is to register and walk the floor, so to say.
Okay. And to answer one final question, we're over 70 booths, I believe, at this point, that have registered. The 8 business categories, I'm sorry, I would have to look that up to tell you all of them, but they will be on the website when we send that link out early next week. So you'll be able to see what those are and which one you've been classified into. And then the expo is only officially live during the hours that it's running. The networking lounge and the auditorium, that stuff won't operate outside those hours. Again, it's a website, so technically the booths will still be there for people to visit if they want to, even after hours, after the
Right. To interject here, not to talk over you, but the only way I can show those different categories would be to look at it's like,
oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Business services, manufacturing, building and logistics, tourism, hospitality, food products and retail, education, mentorship, leadership, professional services, healthcare and insurance, media and advertising, and then nonprofits. So all of the 74 or 5 booths, the businesses exhibiting, have been broken into one of these categories, and I'm sure you can kind of guess which one yours is in. So that should kind of roughly answer that question. It's about the only graphic we can show today, I think, that kind of helps with that. But then again, to elaborate on what you said, Jeremy, the expo floor, so to say, doesn't close. Once we launch, it's going to be open. You can go to the auditorium and it's going to be just like it is now. It'll just say, nothing's happening. It's just an empty room. But you can still go to everybody's booth. You can still click on everybody. You can still scan everybody. You can download all the promos. You can navigate around. So as far as that goes, it doesn't theoretically close. So yeah, once we go live, and you have to register and have an attendee ID, and then that's it. You can go there 24 hours a day, like you were saying. So.
Okay, so our big takeaways here are get your info in ASAP by tomorrow if possible. To Philip, he's the one, or he and his staff are the ones who are going to translate that into the booths. And then as far as getting a look at your booth and making sure everything is correct, you'll get to see that early next week. And then if they see something that needs to be changed, they just get back in touch with you, Philip.
Yes, that'll work fine. Yep. Hopefully we'll get it right, but it's always possible. So we will adjust as necessary. Yeah,
it promises to be an exciting event.
That's right. Yeah. So, you know, forging new territory here. So thanks for being a part of it and helping us do it. That's exciting. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you guys. Again, we'll have plenty of opportunities. I know there are probably more questions. We're here to answer them and help however we can. But we wanted this to be a nice little primer, at least, for folks to answer some of the most common questions. Other than that, we will see you on the 26th and 27th.
See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.